Noah Lyles reveals only way he could lose to Tyreek Hill after trolling Dolphins star. Noah Lyles and Tyreek Hill have turned speed into a high-stakes game of one-upmanship. Every sprint, meme, and public jab adds tension to their ongoing rivalry, leaving fans guessing how far either will push the other next. Well, this time, Speakeasy TLK show highlighted the latest twist. The IG post caption read, "Noah Lyles says Tyreek Hill can't hang with him after 5 meters faced with tears of joy." In the latest video clip, Lyles teased Hill, saying he might have a slight edge for the first 5 meters on grass, but after that it's cooked, he can get to a slant depth, and then after that it's over. The playful banter harkens back to their rivalry since the 2024 Paris Olympics, keeping fans hooked on every word and gesture. Back in February, at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, Lyles added fuel to the fire. After winning the 60-meter final, he held up a sign reading, "Tyreek could never." Not just this, in an interview with NBC, he took a jibe at him. "When you're ready to actually put some words down and actually ready to race, see me. I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. But all I know is your football season is over. You ain't got no excuse now," he stated. Not only Lyles, but Hill didn't stay quiet. He also fired back with a sharp jab that kept the rivalry sizzling. Tyreek Hill's savage Madden jab at Lyles. On Johnny Manziel's Glory Days podcast, Hill delivered a pointed Madden rating for Lyles. "That man is soft as HLL. He's soft, bro. So, I got to give bro like a 36. And the only reason he got 36 is because his speed is going to be a 99, he humorously stated. Even in his critique, Hill admitted his respect. "I got a ton of respect for Noah Lyles, but as far as me competing against him, I hate the dude." That mix of admiration and rivalry gives their exchanges their spark. The race itself hasn't happened yet, but Hill made it clear the story isn't over. Fans were primed for a head-to-head showdown in Times Square on June 16th. But Lyles pulled out, citing personal reasons and complications. Following that, Dolphins WR didn't skip a beat. He lined up against Lyles's brother, Josephus, and remarked, "Sent his lil bro instead lol." A few days later, he shared the Homer Simpson Bush meme, poking fun at the canceled race. Hill kept breaking personal records, running 10.15 seconds on June 14th and a personal best 10.10 at the ATX Sprint Classic, beating Josephus in their heat. Through every jab, meme, and heat victory, the tension simmers, leaving fans eagerly anticipating the next move in this playful showdown. Noah Lyles has never been shy about speaking his mind. Whether it's in the press room, on social media, or in the middle of a track meet, the reigning 100m and 200-meter world champion has built a reputation for being as bold with his words as he is explosive out of the blocks. So when Miami Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill, known across the NFL as the Cheetah, began to stir up chatter about who the real fastest man in sports was, Lyles couldn't resist. It started innocently enough. Hill had long embraced his identity as football's speed king, routinely burning cornerbacks on deep routes and leaving defensive coordinators sleepless. Clips of his mind-bending acceleration would go viral almost every week. But when Hill suggested that he could hang with, or even beat, the world's best sprinters, the track community raised its eyebrows. Lyles, who thrives on challenges, responded in the way only he could, with a mix of humor, trolling, and supreme confidence. "The only way I'm losing to Tyreek Hill," Lyles joked in a recent interview, "is if he gets a 30-yard head start, a tailwind, and maybe I stop for a selfie mid-race." The quip quickly went viral, and fans flooded social media with debates. Some defended Hill, citing his absurd 4.29-second 40-yard dash and his in-game speed that routinely hits over 22 miles per hour. Others sided with Lyles, pointing out the difference between football speed and track speed. One honed for bursts and agility, the other for raw, perfected sprinting form over distance. But behind the trolling, there was a hint of something deeper. Lyles didn't dismiss Hill outright. He acknowledged that Hill was a freak athlete, one of the rare NFL players whose speed could even spark a conversation with Olympic champions. In fact, Lyles revealed the only real way Hill might have a chance at beating him: context. "If we're talking a straight-up 100 meters on the track, no chance," Lyles said with conviction. "That's my world. That's my craft. I've trained my whole life for that. But if you drop me into his world, into pads on turf, dodging defenders, that's where things change. That's where speed means something different. Maybe that's where Tyreek could get me." It was a rare concession, and one that showed the nuance in this crossover rivalry. Speed, after all, isn't a one-size-fits-all trait. The speed needed to blow past world-class sprinters is measured in clean mechanics, perfect stride length, and the ability to maintain form under fatigue. The speed that makes Hill unstoppable in the NFL is about explosiveness, lateral quickness, and reaction time under chaos. Lyles leaned into that difference when pressed further. "I respect Tyreek," he admitted. "He's fast. Crazy fast. But on a track, there's no helmet, no shoulder pads, no playbook. It's just you and the clock. That's my kingdom. But if we had to switch worlds, if I had to run in pads, or even race him zigzagging across a football field, that's the only way I lose. Because that's his kingdom." The comments not only showcased Lyles' confidence, but also his ability to blend competitiveness with respect. Unlike some athletes who would scoff at the idea of a football player challenging a track star, Lyles embraced the rivalry for what it was: entertainment, motivation, and an opportunity to elevate both sports. Of course, fans weren't content to let the debate stay theoretical. Within hours, Twitter, or X, depending on who you ask, was buzzing with calls for a pay-per-view showdown. Noah Lyles versus Tyreek Hill in a 100-meter sprint, perhaps even with a twist. "Run 2 races," one fan suggested. "One on the track, one on the football field. See who's the real fastest." Hill, never one to shy away from banter, fired back online. "Tell Noah I'll race him today. He can bring his spikes. I'll bring the cheetah speed. Winner gets bragging rights for life." The stage, at least in the court of public opinion, was set. What made the back and forth even more compelling was that both athletes represented speed in its purest form, yet from completely different worlds. Hill had proven time and again that his acceleration was unrivaled in football, a weapon that altered games. Lyles had proven that over 100 m or 200 m, he was untouchable, the man to beat on the global stage. For Lyles, though, the rivalry was more than trash talk. It was about legacy. "When people talk about speed, I want my name to come up first," he said. "Not just in track, not just in Olympics, but when anybody asks, who's the fastest in the world? I want them to say Noah Lyles. If Tyreek wants to test that, I'm game. But I know what the result will be." And yet, his playful nod to the only way he could lose underscored a truth that resonated with fans. Speed is relative. Take Lyles off the track and put him in cleats with a linebacker chasing him, and suddenly Hill's skill set shines brighter. Reverse it, and Hill would be gasping to keep up after 60 meters.